Hello, everyone. Welcome again. Welcome to the Gems of Life. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I have a very beautiful, unique story here with you today to share it with you. And I just want to tell all the young ladies listening to this video today, watching this show today, I want to tell you that you have hope everywhere you are. Any corner in the world, there is hope. And as long as you have that dream and that passion within you and that desire within you, there's nothing else you cannot reach or attain. So I have today a very special guest. Tamania, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and so glad. And I can't wait to share some of my story with you all.
Yes, amazing, Tamania. I read your story and I was intrigued to know who you are. And I reached out to you, and you're so grounded, mashallah. You're so grounded and so genuine in the things that you do. And I thought, you know what? Some of the young ladies need to hear this and hear your story. And you never know who you can actually inspire. So, Tamania, do you mind just sharing what your story, where it began, so
Yeah,
everyone else can
I,
get
I
into
with
what you do?
I know, especially with what you just said right now. I definitely think part of my entire business is about storytelling. So I do see so much value in that and sharing others' experiences with each other. I think there's so much to learn. So how I started, so my business is called Eight Stories of Modesty. And I started this back in the November of 2019 was when I first launched it. And I was still in undergrad at the time. Alhamdulillah, I'm done now. So that's very exciting. But at the time I was still in school and I was like, okay, I'm going to take this step and I'm going to start my business. So I had this idea. I wanted to start something based around the hijab just because I've been wearing it since I was 9 years old. It is a big part of who I am in my life, my identity, and what I believe in. And so I definitely wanted it to be based around this concept of the hijab. But I had been carrying this idea around for like about 2 years. And then in 2019, I was finally pushed to go and start something with it. And I remember it was just like a regular evening. I was sitting with my sisters and we were just planning out, names or logos for a potential business. There was nothing in place as of yet. And we were just having fun. And then I think from there, I eventually started liking what we were coming up with. And so I started taking it a step further. And again, like I said, I really, really see the value in storytelling and the value of sharing our experiences with one another. And there's so much to learn from others that I wanted to put that aspect into it as well. So with my business, basically have a hijab collection, and each hijab in the collection comes with a unique story that is voluntarily written by a Muslim woman, outlining her hijab journey or anything that she wants to share. When you purchase a scarf, not only do you get, like, of course, the scarf, but you get the story as well with it, and it just becomes a more meaningful experience. And it is a way to empower, enlighten, share, and build that community. And that's sort of how I got into it. And it took off, alhamdulillah. So there were so many things that I could learn, even being just a student starting a business. I realized that the important part is to just start, and then the opportunities come flowing to you. So you need to go out there, make the effort, do the initiative, and people will support you. You will find a lot of support. And right now, Sister Fadwa, she's supporting me right now by having this interview. And I think that's the most important thing. And yeah, so that's sort of how my story went.
That's amazing. And I love the concept of bringing stories, to your clients. It's something that everyone can relate to. And forming a business, starting a business in the midst of pandemic, Tamania, how was that?
So this was right, yeah, 2 months before the pandemic is when I started, and then the pandemic hit, of course. So I think it was definitely, you have to shift, you have to be flexible, you have to pivot and start changing things up. You cannot just pause. You have to keep doing something. So because my business, I market it on social media, I kept that active and I kept that going just so that the hype wouldn't die down and people will still be interested and still coming to like the platform that I have. So in that sense, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing content forward. You have to keep your audience interested. And I think part of it has to do with the passion that you bring to your business, and your idea. And it really shows. And I think a lot of people, half the time, they get interested because they see you and they see how passionate you are. And then they want to get involved. And I think that's a lot of how I've attracted my attention, is just because I really loved my idea and I really wanted to push it forward in the best way. And I wanted to, inspire other people to start their own thing. So that's why I love opportunities like these, where I can talk about my experience. And especially with the pandemic, I know a lot of small businesses were definitely hit hard, but I think, alhamdulillah, now that we're slowly coming out of it, things can go back to normal. But with me, in terms of that, I think the hardest part was definitely getting content together, because my thing is so based on like people and the amount of stories that I have and like the interaction we have with it. So that to build that experience, I think that's why it was very difficult for me in a little bit in the beginning. But there were so many people still willing to help out and still be a part of it, and that's why I think I got through that part of the year, and I'm so glad that that happened. And yeah.
That's amazing. And you talked about there were people who were there to support you. Who were
Yeah.
there to support you? What kind? Were they family members, friends,
Oh
maybe
yes.
colleagues or former students?
Friends and family, number one support, that's for sure. But I was surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised about that support. I knew I would be getting that support, and I was very happy and appreciative for it. But strangers, people supporting me that I had no clue that they would do that. Whether they were Muslim or not, I think everybody was just intrigued and they liked the idea. And I got so much support, not only on social media but through my school as well. So I actually entered a competition in my school. It was called the Concept 5K, and it was just a business pitch. So I pitched the idea, and I had a lot of resources that I received from the university, and I didn't even know about these resources until I went in and I took these initiatives to sign up for these competitions. And so with that, the school provided me mentors and people that I could go to help to, and they provided me all these resources. So I ended up winning that competition that I entered, and that helped me a lot because it really did expand my reach, in terms of who was hearing about my business, in terms of the marketing, in terms of the people reaching out to me now from the school. So I think with that happening, it was a really big step for my business during 2020, and it was such a great way because it was all virtual and it was something that I could do. Um, and it really pushed my business to the next step, and I wouldn't have had this opportunity if it wasn't for me just going out there and starting something.
Absolutely. And you actually mentioned a couple of things that are really key points to anyone who's listening, that you have to have passion in what you're doing. And you have to take that initiative to go forward. You have to be the CEO of your own business,
Oh yeah.
and that's what you did. When you went in, you took the initiative. No one brought everything to you. You went there and you went there looking for those answers and looking for clues and resources. And
Mhm.
then when people see that passion and they see that you are actually engaged in taking action in what you're doing, people will help you and support you.
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely agree with that. I think another thing is that you should, as a starting your own business or anything that you're doing, it doesn't have to be a business, but start with whatever you enjoy the most. And I feel that will help you push forward when you do face your first or second challenge, because you'll have all this foundation that you built up without even realizing it. And that's sort of what happened with me, is that when, of course, the pandemic did hit, I did have 2 months worth of work that I had put into this business. So I was pushed to keep persevering, keep getting through these hurdles and challenges, and simply just continuing to do what I like to do, and maybe making that impact on people. And I think that's sort of how I've measured the success of what I've done so far, is the type of impact that I've made. And that it really comes from the people that send me messages about, how the stories really hit home for them and how they really related to it, or how it inspired them to even start wearing the headscarf themselves. It is a big journey, a big spiritual journey that a woman takes. And I think I'm just glad that I got to be part of that journey for some people. Um, and I think that's the reason why I even started this. And so, keeping that intention, I really wanted to take this forward. And now that I have seen some results from it, I'm more inclined to keep going further.
Yes, absolutely. And further you will go, Tamania. There's more things coming your way as well. It's taking that step. Usually people have that fear of, what, I don't have all the resources I need. I cannot go forward until I get everything. And that's what holds people back. Is
Mhm.
they wait for everything to
To be
come in,
perfect.
all the pieces to come in together so they can start. But you
Mhm.
can just start with one thing. You
Yeah.
don't have to have everything. Just
Yeah.
start, take one step, and that step will bring you more
Absolutely. Yeah.
resources in front. Just keep moving forward. And that's exactly what you did, Tamani.
And as a business student, of course, I know all the intricacies of how difficult it is to start a business or the things you have to consider. And that is why it took me so long to get into it. Like it took me 2 years, as I said. But I think, don't overwhelm yourself and sort of step back, see what the bigger purpose is of what you're trying to do. And just, yeah, step in with one thing and don't worry because you will pivot so many times within your business. You will change things up. Things will keep evolving and getting better. And that's the whole point, but it doesn't have to be perfect from the get-go. And I think that is a really big thing for people like me who do get overwhelmed with there's so many things to think about. And I think in 2018 I took a trip to Guatemala and I went with I think 10 other individuals that I didn't know, and one of them was a psychology graduate and she started her own business. So I was so inspired hearing her story because I'm like, oh wow, I'm in business, I've always wanted to start a business, but here is this psychology grad and she's just went out and done it. And I think that really started giving me that push to go out and just take that first step.
Yes, absolutely. Don't wait up. Don't wait up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just take one step, go for it. Whatever it is, just go for it. And believe me, the moment you start doing and start living in it, you know what? Actually, let me tell you something. Live as if you already got it.
Oh
Live
yes.
as if you already got it. Just whatever vision you have, whatever aspirations you have, already think in your mind, you're already in it. And
Mhm.
when you do that, start taking that step forward that will lead you to where you need to be. So I have some hijabs that Tamania graciously sent it to me. And let me tell you, before I show you the hijab, the packages that the hijab comes in is just gorgeous. Look at that. It is beautiful. It's wrapped up in a beautiful bow tie and a custom made with your name on it. Okay. It's beautiful. And when you open it, that's where you get all the beautiful hijabs. I love the packaging, Tamanya. What that's
Thank
just
you.
genius. I kept mine. You brought this for me. I kept my box. I didn't want to throw it. And in that box, you find the story cards. Okay, so I have two hijabs here. One of them is actually I'm wearing it, and it's this one here. It's called Hiba, and there's a story behind it. And then the baby pink one that comes with a story as well. This is 2 pages. This was a nice, beautiful story. It looks like a long story. When you have 2 pages there, that's beautiful, mashallah, and for the sisters to take time to write it. And then this is the baby pink hijab. I love it. I love it. And I
Um,
thought, you know what? Let me wear this so you can actually see how it looks like. And
it
this
looks
is
so good
Hiba.
on you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So you call it Hiba because of the story. Um, do you have so many different colors based on the names, or if a client goes in on the website, they order based on the names, and that's unique actually. It's
Yes,
genius.
it's based on the names. It's on my website as well. You will find the names of the people and then a little bit of a description of the color and the scarf, but it is just the names titled with the hijab.
Wow. You know what? I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Usually I buy hijabs whenever I travel, and nothing has been as beautiful and personalized, as unique as this.
Thank you.
It can't get better than this, let me tell you. And it's very easy to get a hold of you. I went into your website, I looked at it, everything is there. You're very easy to respond, you quickly to respond. I sent you a message, you responded very fast. So that's really good, Tamania, for a young entrepreneur like you. You're already ahead of the game. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes. So what is the advice that you would like to pass it on to the young viewers who are watching this show today? Because there are people around the world who feel stuck. They may have some ideas and maybe don't know where to start. What are the things that you can share with them that they can start working on?
I would suggest, I would definitely suggest doing something that is very meaningful to you and has an impact on others. And I think, like, for example, I could have just started off selling hijabs, and although that is great and amazing, I wanted it to be meaningful. I wanted it to make an impact on others' lives. I wanted to, share experiences. And that's why I brought that storytelling aspect in. So I suggest, before starting a business, really think about the type of impact you want to make in the world, with whatever you are inventing or creating or writing. I think that is the main thing, is just really evaluate why you're here, your purpose here, what you want to do and who you want to be and who you want to inspire. There's so many things that go into that. And I think when you are creating something or starting a business, it is that moment that you have the chance to do that. You have the ability and the resources to go in and make a difference, and focus on that. Focus on your story. Make sure you have that ready, because that is not only going to be used to, pitch your idea or your business, it's going to be used to make the foundations of what you're creating. And I think that is so important. And I think that's why Eight Stories of Modesty is very impactful, or has been as impactful as it has been, because of the story behind it, and the reason it was created in the first place. So I understand that, some business obviously have social responsibility initiatives, but I would say when you're starting something, start with your intentions, make it for a good purpose, and try to help as many people along the way as you can.
Absolutely. You know what? Intention, intention, intention.
Yes.
When you have passion, it's not just enough to have passion and desire and aspirations. What is the intention? What is it, the message that you're sending out to people? What is the impact you're looking for? And that's the reason why I actually started this, show, is to help people like you, Tamania, bring your stories, because we all have stories to share, and we all have the opportunity to impact others. We have, one of my brand names in my show is Aspire to Inspire. If we take that role to aspire to inspire others, we can go very, very far. And that's what you just did, Tamania. You're aspiring to inspire others through your work with intention.
Mm-hmm.
That's really key.
That's a very good summary of what it is. And I think that is very important. And I think that's what takes somebody or a business or a small idea further. And it creates a larger impact that, you can't even imagine. And I'm so grateful that I was part of this experience and I had the courage to just start it. But you have to start something for it to grow. And that's what I would say, is just, go in there, do your best. And it's okay if it doesn't work out, because you learned so much from that experience, and you will take that bunch of experience that you had just from that experience to the next one. And I think that's how it snowballs and grows. And that's sort of how, I guess, you grow as a person too, and you develop. And it's great for your career and for your life as well.
Yes, absolutely. Don't throw in the towel when you hit the first failure or obstacle.
Yeah.
It will strengthen you. That's all. You will be learning. It's a learning curve, basically. You're
Mm-hmm.
learning through the process. And just like you, it wasn't easy in the first place. It's still not easy. You're still learning. You're still going through the process, but it strengthens you as a business person.
Yeah, and I was a student when I started, so I had a lot of academics, and balancing my business and academics was a challenge. It wasn't easy, and at times I was sort of neglecting the business to do my schoolwork. But what I realized is I have to become strategic with how I balance everything in my life, and I started taking courses that would help me work on my business alongside academics. So I was basically doing both at the same time. And I think that's, you have to see for yourself how you can manage your time best, and then that will change the game. And I think incremental changes in your daily routine will make that happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tamania. Any last words to share with our viewers today?
Well, Happy New Year. I know it's been a couple of days since then. And I hope that this year is very successful for you all, and whatever's best for you happen, inshallah. And yeah, I'm just hoping that this year is much better than, of course, 2020 was, and that things start rolling over and we start getting back into our normal routines, and are able to meet our families and friends.
Yes, for sure. We have to deal with whatever we are working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we have with. I know 2020 was not easy, and now we are in this brand new year, and I call this year the year of opportunity.
Yes, I love the optimism.
Yes, the opportunities. Let's not be dragged off by what happened in 2020. I actually say 2020 was a great year. I'm not downplaying everything that has happened, right? But it was a year to teach us how resilient we are.
Mm-hmm.
2020 was a year to show us how strong we are and how courageous we are and how we are able to go past through any obstacles or hurdles that come along the way. That's how I look at it. I'm not downplaying everything that has happened, but if we focus and dwell on the negative, then that's what we bring forward into 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask you to look at the lessons in 2020 and use those lessons to propel you into 2021 and move you forward. 2021 is a year of possibilities. Move forward, march forward with conviction, courage, and confidence, and you will see everything will be okay.
Absolutely.
Tamania, thank you for being here today with me. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and gems of life with us. And that's the reason we're here today, just to share the gems that you have learned in your lessons and in setting up your business. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so glad I got this opportunity to come on here and speak about my journey.
Yes. And for everyone, please, you can actually, I'll put in the link, beautiful colors. You pick Zainab, Hiba, all the names. I'm actually looking forward to seeing a Fagwa there too.
Of course. Of course. I can't wait.
Yes. And remember, you all have a story to tell. So share your story in any way you can. Tamania shared her story through modesty, hijabs, and stories and storytelling. So, what is your story, and how do you intend to share that story with us, with others, and with us? Remember, you have the power to aspire to inspire others. Till then, see you, and Happy New Year, everyone.